All right, so my next guest agrees with the sentiments of Nathan Rothschild, who said in 1810, "By the sounds of cannons, sell the sounds of trumpets." I want to bring in now Wellington-Altus Private Wealth Chief Market Strategist Jim Thorne. Jim, it's interesting. I was reading your note. You say the current conflict is actually creating more opportunity and not danger. Would you say that applies for not just for markets, but society at large?
Yes, we're going to have a peace dividend. So, Charles, let's look out 12 to 14 months. The Middle East situation has been taken care of. We no longer have state-sponsored terrorism coming out of Iran. Think about what happened in the 90s, Charles, when the Soviet Union fell. We're going to have a peace dividend, so multiples are going to expand. People are going to feel really good about themselves. And therefore, when we're building portfolios now, we should be looking 12 to 14 months out for that type of an environment.
No, I agree with you on that. I started the show saying, I understand the headlines, but this market already has something needling it. And one of that main thing it has been is AI fears, right? The sort of thing that AI is going to take everyone's job. So how are you dealing with that? How are you factoring that into your work?
Well, right now we're saying buy the AI names, buy the software names, go back, fade. We think, Charles, what's happened is that the market has Trump derangement syndrome in the fact that they don't believe that Trump's new policy, the supply side policies of running the economy, having a cyclical recovery and a renaissance, where you want to basically have cyclical exposure, but you also have a technology wave, and at that time, so what we want to do is have a barbell approach. We want to recognize the fact that eventually the markets are going to have to wake up to the fact that what the Trump team is doing is generational, and we need to position our portfolios to basically benefit from that.
So for you, and you've been optimistic for a while, you say, listen, the foundation's in place and 4% growth is not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. The ISM numbers that came out the other day are strong. And Charles, what President Trump did with Liberation Day last year is it blew up the 4-year cycle because we had a 20% correction on an off-cycle year. And we've never had two 20% correction years in a row outside of a recession or a financial crisis. So look, we have supply side reforms, we have deregulation, and we have when you have that and you have the rebuilding and the rearming of America, you have growth that's non-inflationary. So we're going to have interest rates coming down and we're going to have this renaissance. And so you want to think about what it was like, Charles, when we came out of 03 and 04. We leaned into the industrial areas. We leaned into those things that were rebuilding America. And that's what we want to do. On the other side, the fears about AI are completely misplaced. So you want the technology, you want the AI, and you also want Bitcoin. The market right now is telling you that, Charles. The pivot is happening. Gold and silver are being sold. Look at Bitcoin's hanging in there. Banks are green. Look at Target today. Green. You're starting to see a change in leadership, and
right.
we're getting very bullish here.
Right. And I know that you say sell consumer staples and defensive names and sectors. And listen, I've been talking about that for a few weeks, that it feels comfortable, but you're paying a lot of money for that, and maybe that's not where you want to be. Also on the AI side, NVIDIA, Vernova, Micron, Palantir, I know these are names that you like as well. We're going to put them on the screen for the audience to see, but and Eton also, ETN. But I got to ask you about this. I saw a couple of weeks ago you were talking about your Build America 10. And again, we've seen great manufacturing data. It feels great. It's coming on strong. Talk to us about this basket.
Well, we're restructuring and rebuilding and rearming America. So anything that takes advantage of that, whether it's cat, deer, any industrial name. So we're going to have this old economy that's going to be fantastic. Cummins, trains, rails. I mean, I just picked 10. But, think about rebuilding and restocking America. President Trump and Secretary Bissett, when they talk about productive capital, they're talking about rebuilding Main Street and productive America. You need exposure in your portfolios for that. So I gave you 10, but there's many more.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to share them with the audience because I'm in some of these. And plus, I'm on the same page as you. Caterpillar, Deere just had a monster move on earnings, right? PH, JCI, just some of these older names that have been around for a long time have just sort of, come as engine. We know we need engines. They make some old school engines that are going to help power these power plants and Qantas and everything else. So before I let you go, you mentioned Bitcoin. Just your thoughts on the Fed. The last few days, maybe week or so, the feeling is that maybe even a worse Fed won't be able to be accommodative, at least not out the gate.
Oh, come on, Charles. Let's go. They're going to take rates down to 275. We got rate cuts in front of us. We're going to have a coordination between the Treasury Department and the Fed. The extreme woke progressive left Fed, those days are over. Position your portfolios for a renaissance in the United States and a rational central bank.
All right. Jim, my man, it's always great having you. Always. Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charles. Good to see you.